Hey everybody, this is my wife, Emily. We did an episode of my podcast, Final Biography, a while back, and her episode was the most listened to and streamed episode last year and of all time. So we figured we've been wanting to do a video together, and so yesterday we kind of had the idea to do a Q&A. So we asked you guys what you thought on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and we got people sending us questions from all over the place. So we'll jump into those. But yeah, we've had a really interesting past year. We've opened a record store and kind of unexpectedly. So we'll get into all that stuff throughout the questions because a lot of people ask about opening a record store. And so we'll get there. So we're going to jump in. First, we're going to hit YouTube questions first. Rod, how you doing, Rod? The happy hippie, the vinyl guy, asks, have you ever found anything inside an album? We found a report card from like 1980 inside an album and notes that people wrote, but never anything of value. So we found lots of weird stuff.
Yeah,
in
never
records.
never
anything good. We had the funniest one is we had we were going through records probably 2 months ago. There's a box of 45s, and in the bottom of it there was it was a military. What was it? It was a
that thing freaked
it was
me
like a
out.
flare, but it was something. It was used during the
It
Cold
was-
War, but it wasn't an actual flare. It was something that sent out like a flash of light. But it was this weird. She freaked out. It looked pretty rough.
I mean, it had all the military writing on it.
It was very strange, and I actually didn't know what it was. And she's like, "What is?"
I was like, don't move.
So, anyways, that was kind of crazy. But I found all kinds of weird stuff. A couple months ago, we found a checkbook inside a Jerry Jeff Walker record that, like, all the letters were cut out and spliced up. It looked like somebody was like involved in some serious check fraud stuff. So that was kind of crazy. Praying Mantis asks, what my question is, does Emily like your beard? I have a beard and my wife hates it. I'll let you answer that. Emily doesn't like to talk bad about me, but she might.
I've grown to.
As it grows on me, it grows on her. Let's just say
I've grown
that.
to become accustomed to it. I feel like the general consensus among wives is pretty much the same.
Yeah, she
But
when we first got married.
I try to be supportive.
When we first got married, I had baby face, clean shave.
I don't like baby face.
She doesn't like that anymore.
I like 5 o'clock shadow. I love 5 o'clock shadow.
I thought I was like, make up your mind. Have a beard. Or no
No,
beard.
I love that. I think I like to see. It's just. I like it to be prickly.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Hey,
like...
do y'all know what he looks like with this?
Next question. Dear Lord.
They want to know what you look like
They want to
without your
know.
hat on.
I don't wear a hat sometimes.
I would rather him not wear a hat than not have a beard.
Really?
Yeah.
Good to know. Learning things.
Did I say that right?
I don't know. I'm a little lost. All right.
I don't even know what I just said.
Dominic Yeomans says, what's your and Emily's album that you prefer to listen to by yourselves? Not one each. The album Dylan prefer or listen to alone, and the album that Emily prefers to
And
listen
why
alone.
if
Why if
comfortable.
comfortable. So they're asking, I think, what album you like to listen to when you're alone, and what album I like to listen to when I'm alone.
That maybe neither of us likes.
Maybe.
Well,
Are we gonna get into the? We're gonna get into it.
what? Get into what?
So Emily does not like angry music.
I don't know. I was thinking
Sorry.
what I liked, but
What do you like?
go ahead. You go.
Well, so we have this debate about angry music. You know, I think it started a few years ago when we were driving in the car, and there was the Foo Fighters song on, and she's like, "He sounds
Which
so
song?
angry." It was can't remember the. I Dad, on the next one down, I'm done. See, look, that's exactly the look that was on her face. All my life I've been looking for something never comes, never leads to nothing satisfies. That's exactly the one. See, because of how she's reacting. And then she's like, he's so angry. Why is he so angry? And then I was like, well, you know what? It's okay to have those feelings. That's what music's for, to express your feelings and to get that out. And then her stance is that you have to move past it.
I mean, I get that you feel angry, but anyways, y'all don't want to get into that.
Yeah, that's too deep. So, Dominic, your question confused me.
But I think what do I like
mean,
to listen to when I'm not around you?
I don't know. I'm
well,
not there.
What I like to listen to when the kids aren't around. None of your audience is gonna respect this, but I love Pink.
That's fine.
Love Pink.
Should have brought the Pink. I bought her a Pink record a few years ago. Still have it.
But what's funny is that she's angry.
She is angry. Gabe Halligan says, how much upfront inventory would you suggest having to start up a record store? The best answer to that question is as much as you could possibly get your hands on, obviously. So for us, we'll get into that. Let's say there's another question. Erica Baganto asked. Bagnato. Reading is hard. Any advice on how to start up a record store? So here's what happened with us.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That might not be the way you want to do it. So, I had somebody call me a few months ago and say, hey, I'm thinking about quitting my job. I have a very, very stable job and thinking of quitting to start a record store. What do you suggest? And so I've had a lot of that. For us, this is how it happened for us. I've always wanted to start a record store, but I never really thought I would.
We had enough records to start.
We didn't.
Well,
we did. I thought we did, but
we had a lot of records.
We had a
could
lot.
Sell.
Yeah, and but the space was bigger than I thought it was going to be. Once I put shelves in here,
this space is way bigger than what we had intended.
Yeah. So,
which is great.
I was working at a job I hated, and like April of last year, this space became available, and we called the lady that was the landlord, and we said we were extremely interested in opening a record shop. She wasn't sure because this was like a double unit, and she wanted to rent out both units, so she said no. We called, once, twice a month, and sometimes she was for it, sometimes she wasn't. So we're trying to figure out what we wanted to do.
We had our minds set on this shop.
Yeah, this location.
We
looked at a bunch of different places, but nothing.
It just felt.
Yeah.
This was the one. Every time we walked here, we were like, this feels right.
Yeah.
We looked at tons. I mean, we called probably 100 places to look into, and just either
it's crazy.
Didn't feel right when we looked at it, or it just it wasn't the right location, or it just didn't feel right.
And then there's a lot of it's expensive. Retail spaces are freaking expensive. So this place was just perfect for us, and so I lost my job in August and got a little bit of severance, not a lot. And
which we were really excited about.
Yeah.
And we were both miserable.
Yeah, I hated it. So the lost is not a good word. Gained freedom is a better term. But anyways, so
gained freedom, lost some money, but whatever.
But anyway, so I was kind of scrambling to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to get another real job. I wanted to do something with records, and whether that was just to sell online. I don't really like selling online. When I started doing pop-ups, I really started to value the face-to-face interaction, which now we're missing a little. But yeah, just that's really what I wanted to do, and starting a record store was the only thing that really made sense. So that was August. I lost my job. At that point, she didn't want to rent this space to us. And then I sent her some articles about record stores coming back and all that stuff. And she said, let's meet and talk about it. And I knew if I could get her in person, I could talk her into it, and I did. And so it was great from then on. But then that was September. She agreed to it, but I wasn't allowed in here till like, oh gosh, it was like the second week in September.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have enough money to not be open.
We had 15 days.
We had something like that to get the store running, which is crazy. I'm going to put some footage up of us getting the store ready, but this was not what it looked like when we started. It looked like it was one of those antique malls where they had all these different booths in there. Thought about leaving all the booths in there, but really didn't.
We had to tear down 6 walls, right?
No, 8.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 8 to 10.
Because there were 2 right there,
yeah,
too.
and so we cut 2 of them in half so I could have like a desk back there. But yeah, it was a lot of work, and it was crazy. And not to mention, during the middle of the 15 days, I'd already paid for a trip to New York City to do podcast interviews. And so we were like, should we do it? And I was like, I don't know.
I was like, we are not canceling that trip.
Yeah, so I still went on the trip, so we missed 3 days out of that. So we worked sun up to sundown.
Yeah, literally.
And like till 3 or 4 a.m. every night.
Took shifts of sleeping and watching the kids. And I was here almost every single night for 15 days from like 5 p.m. till 4 a.m. in the morning, painting and doing stuff. And then he would do all the hard labor and moving all the records and pricing, and it was a lot.
Yeah. Once we had everything kind of close, Chris, Students from the Man Cave, came. He helped me sort and like organize everything, alphabetize everything.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of really good people come help us. And so if you're watching this, anybody who helped, we really appreciate it.
You know who you are.
Yeah, so we got it together in like, I don't know, it was like 15 days. It was probably like 20. I probably, in that, we cut out the New York trip, but like, it was like 15 days of hard work.
Yeah.
But like, that's crazy. So
It's really crazy how much we got done in 15 days.
Yeah,
I don't know how we did it.
We went from not knowing if we were going to start a record store to opening a record store in less than a month.
Yeah.
So that was the crazy part. So I had to buy collections, pull things together. Opening day, we had just enough to have an excuse to have records, but we had some really good stuff. We probably had 6,000 or 7,000 records on opening day, and we keep about 10,000 to 12,000 in here now. Mm-hmm. We try to. So everything's selling really well. It's hard to keep them in stock, which is a great problem to have. So any advice about opening a record store? Let's see, what was the actual question? How much inventory do you suggest having? Depends on how big your space is, and it depends on the quality of inventory. You got to have some good stuff. Dollar records, like cheap stuff, that stuff, you get tons and tons and tons of it when you buy collections in. People just leave it there. People want you to just throw it away. Like, it's just, that stuff comes in like crazy. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. To have good quality stuff, it would be better for you to have 3,000 good quality records than 10,000 records that no one really cares about.
Yeah.
So the quality is the kicker. So I hope that answers your question. But also, like I said, it depends on the size of your space and all that stuff. And then any advice on how to open a record store? Everybody has done it their own way. Right now, we're just doing used inventory, but we're about to launch into new, hopefully here soon. So it just depends on how you want to do it. If it's something that you want to really invest a lot of time in getting it right and quitting your job to start it up, I'm sure there's a much better way to do it. But for us, it was either that or I was going to have to get another job. And so I was like, I want to just pour my time and my life into starting this record store and getting it going. Yeah. And so that's kind of how we did it. So what do you do? I don't regret it. It's been great. It's been the best job I've ever had. So I spend more time at home with the family, which was kind of the goal. We have a son that is on the spectrum, and one of the main things I wanted to do was have a job to where I could spend time with him and be flexible. And so all my other jobs, if he was having a hard day, I couldn't come home. I couldn't help or anything. And so now it's this kind of thing to where I got a lot of good people that are helping me here. I can really have a lot more flexibility in that. So that's kind of our main goal. All right, Dylan, you're the best. Thank you. Christopher Lauer. What kind of music does Emily like?
Very chill.
Yeah, she's
Like-
like we were listening yesterday. We listened to Joni Mitchell, Tom Petty. Wildflowers has been our jam here lately.
Yes.
Jeff Buckley, which she likes some of, and
Brandi
doesn't
Carlile.
Like. Brandi Carlile is also very much her jam right now, and
Yeah.
mine also.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, anything like that. Very mountainy.
Yes. So you I mean, you really liked Ray LaMontagne and Bon Iver and stuff like that. Then back in the day. Reed Smith asks, what groups will we not find in your collection and why? There's lots of stuff. Gosh. Kiss. I don't like Kiss. I don't get it. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I think you get it pretty good.
Ow! No.
I'm just kidding.
You Lord.
All right.
What? So I'm not a big Kiss fan. We don't usually collect anything that I wouldn't want my kids to see. So
Yeah.
that means like
We're very
we're wholesome.
careful
So
about
I don't keep anything with like graphic nudity on the cover or
that. Yeah. Or
satanic imagery.
Or any nudity.
Or any nudity, let's be honest. So that's the only kind of thing we don't really keep in the house. I want my kids to be able to go through the records and enjoy them.
Pick anything up.
Pick anything out and listen
that
to
we
it.
know.
So, hardcore gangster rap, which I do. Trust me, I do enjoy.
He's very good at rapping, too.
Oh, yeah. I used to be a rapper back in the day. Delicious was my nickname on stage. My stage name. They don't call them nicknames on the streets. But anyways, I don't keep like a lot of really hardcore explicit lyrics just because I'm not going to listen to that at home. And I'm not going to listen to that around my kids. So that's just kind of what I don't have in my collection. So,
B-side records?
what's B-side records?
What are some of your favorite bands, artists that you both enjoy?
It's some that you disagree on.
We've already gone over disagreeing.
Yeah, we both enjoy like what we had just talked about. Pretty much anything you like, I like. I'm pretty open. I've been working on her a little bit. Get to
On what?
on some things. I'm throwing in some. I'm trying to get her more into chasing this bull a little bit. Some things she likes, like the song. About the
It's
methamphetamines.
sad.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
He's a sad songwriter, but we're both really like well-written songs. So anything that's good, well-written songs, we disagree a little bit on. I don't disagree with anything that she likes really, but she just doesn't like. She likes to keep it upbeat and positive, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Anders Sigourney's Hovland
Where?
says, my parents are grilling me about how much money I put into my collection, and I'm always trying to teach me some kind of a lesson whenever I get a new record.
They're always trying to teach me.
Yeah, any tips? Oh, Lord.
Well, some people have spoken about Dave Ramsey.
What in the world?
Get employed and start
Contributing to a 401. Yeah.
Okay,
hey,
well, they're not wrong. So
I keep my wife.
Here's the thing: parents want to know that you're going to be able to take care of yourself, and
Well, when I was a kid, my parents didn't get on me about it because it was a lot cheaper than CDs, and I was getting them for nothing. So I don't know. I would say, first of all, respect your parents. They're not stupid. I'm envisioning you as a 40-year-old living at home for some reason, and your parents getting on you, which is a very funny thought. But I think you might be younger than that.
yeah.
But yeah, I would respect what they say, but also
Is it their money or your money?
it depends
I have a
on
lot of
whose
questions.
money it is too. That's very true.
Yeah.
So,
if
I mean-
it's their money,
Yeah, you might want to get a job.
they should stop giving you money.
They should not give you money.
No, I'm just kidding. But see maybe if you can connect with your dad on some of the music. I
Yeah.
don't know. Go
Yeah.
record shop and involve them. They might be more supportive.
That's a great
Yeah.
response. See,
Yeah.
that's-
If you say, hey Dad, hey Mom, you want to go record shopping with me? I'll buy you lunch. I'm telling you, they'll be like, "Ooh, I kind of like this hobby.
Yeah.
Try that."
Paul Armstrong says, greetings from Cornwall in the UK. Hope y'all are okay. How are you coping with both business-wise and personally during the lockdown?
We are coping.
We're coping. We're doing fine.
We are living our best life.
Living it up. It's a little crazy to have to get work at home when you have two rambunctious boys at home.
Yeah.
So that's a little tough.
Working more
Than ever and making less than before. So, that's just the kind of season it is. But it's nice to be able to be at home, and I think that we'll look back at this time as a really good time.
Yeah.
This will be one of the good old days memories where we got to spend a lot of time with the kids.
Yeah. And our kids are still young enough to where they don't even know what's going on. So
they don't care.
This has literally almost not affected us in any negative way other than
it's affected me because I have to ship so much. I hate shipping.
Time wise, it has been really rough. Losing sleep.
Every other night I stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m. and ship, and that's hard. But other than that, it's not a whole lot's changed. We're both kind of introverted. I think we're both actually
equally.
You have introverts and you have extroverts, and then you have omniverts, which so introverts are people that recharge when they're at home and they're alone and they have their alone time. That's when they recharge. Extroverts is they recharge when they're around other people, and that's when they really can get that connection. Omniverts, they can do it either way. I've got to have someone.
Definitely both.
Yeah, I'm both.
I cannot not be around people, but I do like to be around my safe people. It exhausts me being around people that do not know me well, because I feel like I can't be myself.
Correct.
But
see, like when I'm at the shop and I'm interacting with people, it could be someone I never knew. But if we have a connection over music or something, like I love that. But then also I need some time.
See, to me, this is alone time.
Yeah.
Because I can totally be myself. So I don't know if you would call that extroverted. Because
I don't even know what.
I don't know. I don't like to be alone, but I don't like to be around people I don't know very well.
It's a very specific personality type. Okay. Jim Newsteed says, well, hello there. When and why did you start the business? Was it something you always wanted to do?
Yes.
Did you start from scratch or take over an existing store? And I guess how long did it take for you to be able to make a living from this? Cheers, Jim.
Well, we had been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Pop-ups and...
Yeah. First started online.
So we didn't
10
take
years
over
ago.
another record store.
Yeah. So I've had like people over the years try to buy me out several times. When I was starting the record store, I had a bunch of people that wanted to buy into it and wanted shares in it. And they wanted to own part of it. But at this point, I mean, it's named after my son. I've been working on it for 10 years. Nah. But so we started online doing it there. And that's kind of what I would advise, and that's what the advice I've given people that have asked. If you've never sold a record before, start online. It's easy. You can sell in Discogs, you can sell on eBay. Start doing things online first so you kind of get to where you're buying records in and you're selling records. You understand the risk, you understand what to look for, you get your feet wet. Then if you move to pop-ups, that's a great way too to start interacting with people and developing a customer base in your town. And then once you start a store, you have a built-in customer base that's ready for you. So that would be my advice. But yeah, so for me, it was based out of needs. We needed a good job, and I've worked a bunch of jobs I've hated over the past 10 years just to get by, and I was tired of doing that. I wanted to do something that I liked, and we were finally at the place to where I had enough experience to where I was comfortable doing it. So.
Have one for Emily.
Ooh, baby.
DJ Yonsei, Angel One.
Instagram.
Which record did Dylan spend way too much money on? Do you want to answer that one? Because I probably don't know about it.
If I spend too much money on it, I sold it already.
Yeah.
I've sold.
What's the most you've ever spent on a record?
See,
I want to know this.
that's relative.
No, it's not. It's very
So
relative to me.
Is this? Oh gosh, is this like
Since we've been married.
that I've kept or that I've sold, or
It
does
doesn't
it matter?
matter. What's the most you have ever spent on a record? This is probably. Yeah, that's basically what she's asking.
I bought one. Well, see, I traded for one. And the trade value was pretty high, but it was a straight trade. So if you're talking about straight cash?
Cash. That you
Cash?
spent money on.
I mean, I bought one record for $300 and sold it for $600. So, but I sold it.
Yeah, that doesn't really count.
Well, you're talking about one I've kept for myself?
Yeah. What's the most?
I don't know. If I keep it, see, here's my thing. Here's
I don't
the way
think
I've
he
always.
wants to answer.
No. I'm answering it. Here's the way I've always done this. And this is why I'm in the business
He'll
now.
sell another album.
I will never let a dime come out of my personal bank
Yeah.
account. So technically, I've never spent any money on records. But no, it started out to where the first big collection I bought was 7,000 records for $200 because I wanted back some of the records that I had lost in the past from selling records because we needed money. And so I kept the records I wanted and sold the records I didn't want. And so I kind of got into this thing to where as long as I make money on the outside, I'm good. So with the record shop, it gets a little, there's a lot of stuff coming in and going out. And sometimes I keep stuff. But I always try, if I'm keeping stuff and bringing stuff home, I'm taking stuff from the house and bringing it back to the shop. So it kind of evens itself out. Sure, I do get some records for cheap, but I never spend a lot. I don't spend money out of our bank account on records because I could just swap them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of been the way it always is. So it's kind of different for us. I've kind of made that commitment to her when we started. When I started buying records and collecting records, that it wouldn't be a financial burden on us. Like I wouldn't be buying a bunch of records and wasting a bunch of money because when we got married, like for the first good bit, we didn't have a lot of money to deal with.
No money.
Like we didn't have money to waste, So there's lots of times where I sold records that I never thought I'd ever get back because we needed to pay, cell phone or light bill or rent or whatever. Lots of times I did that. So more on the side of I've sold more to pay bills than I've bought. I would never put us in a tough spot by buying too many records. But so from a business perspective, and I also see it this way. One, all my record collection at home are things that I can show on YouTube and people really like seeing. And then also, everything is potential inventory. If things get rough, I can just take stuff from the house and bring it. So, it's a little different when you own a record store. Like, your collection is kind of back up.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't get to that. But,
I've got a few good questions right here if you want me to.
get it.
Noodles Verge
Uh-oh.
on Instagram. Does your wife like records or just put up with it because you like them? A little mix of both.
You like records. Come
I
on.
like records, and I feel like I'm very supportive. It's a whole family affair. We all love it. The kids absolutely love records. That has really gotten me more into it. Just because the boys, they'll go in his vinyl room at home and they love dancing and turning on a record, and he's got records for them. And I like putting on records. I think maybe, I don't know. I think I would be more into it. We don't have a typical life in any sense of the imagination.
Yeah.
But I think maybe if we don't have a record player in our room or in our living room just because with our oldest son on the spectrum, if we're not watching him 100% of the time, we have to have Hawkeyes on him because he would tear up a record player.
Yeah, but he is getting to the point to where he understands.
He understands that he can put the record on, put it back in its sleeve.
Yeah. The other day, we came home and my mom was watching them, and it's a rule that they're not allowed in my record room when I'm not there because, my turntable is kind of expensive.
Very expensive.
So, we walked in, and my mom was watching the kids, and I walked in the room.
It was like the garage doors.
And he had found his favorite record, which is Cookie Monster, and put it on the turntable and had it going. When I got home, he was like,
was fine,
which is great.
But
so he doesn't understand how to be delicate with the needle and drop it just right.
He'll just go,
So we don't have one in the living room. We have Bluetooth speakers in there and stuff, but we will soon. I think he's getting to the point where
he's getting to the point where he's close, and I think I'll enjoy it more than I think. I just am. I'm just not around it as much because if he's at the shop, we don't go in there just because it can get crazy.
Like the kids go nuts.
And he
they
will not
start
want to
pulling
leave
stuff
the
out.
room, so it can become stressful to me. But we're getting to the point, and we'll all go in there when he's home and chill in there, and it's fun. But it can kind of get crazy. But I did used to, before we had kids, I was really getting into it. I loved going and digging. We would go to Asheville all the time and go through all the stores. We would go to all the yard sales.
I got a picture of her somewhere. I need to find it.
Yeah.
And she's like 8 months pregnant, and she's digging. Yeah. So we did
somebody's basement.
Yeah, she knows what to look for. She's definitely picked up records at like thrift stores and stuff when I've not been there. For the shop and for me. So she definitely knows what's good. And so
learn some labels and
you gotta learn the label.
Yeah, so I would say kind of a middle ground. I don't dislike them. I don't hate them.
She loves me.
No, I really do like
and
records.
I love them, so she loves us.
What? Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anyways, Ben asked, which records are most important ones for you both? For example, a record which helped you through tough times or supported your happiness.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Okay, so I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but Cold War Kids.
I was gonna say that. So there's this album,
It's
Cold War
so
Kids.
good.
It's called Mine Is Yours, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, go listen to that song.
Yeah,
so good.
Here's the thing: I had this old iPod with the scroll, and I was landscaping, and I hadn't used the iPod in a while. But since I started landscaping and I was allowed to use it, I started bringing it to work, and this was 2013, probably. And I saw that album on there. I think it came out in like 2011. I don't know how it got on there. I don't remember putting it on there. But started listening to it, and I was like, man, this is just, the lyrics are so good for what stage of life we were in at that time. I was working like a dog, landscaping. It was killing me. And so I burned it on a CD. We listened to it in the car all the time. But the lyrics are just so good. For like an early married couple, we listened to that like crazy. We were dating. We listened to Glenn Hansard and with the Once soundtrack, as well season. We used to listen to
Ray LaMontagne. We went to
went to see him live. Early on,
Sweet Orange.
Oh man, see nobody knows who that is.
It's a one-hit wonder band.
It's a zero-hit wonder band.
Yeah, they only did one album, right?
They only did one album. Yeah.
It was good. It was named after some Starbucks tea that they had at the time.
Yeah, so there's a few. We've been listening to Tom Petty, Wildflowers lately. We've been listening to
Tom Petty.
Johnny Mitchell Blue a lot lately. So we're always going from one thing to the other. But what is it that we've been listening to? The Emmylou Harris Wrecking Ball.
Oh, so
That's
good.
so good.
So good.
So, we've been listening to Vetiver a little bit lately.
Oh, yeah. Well, most of the questions are, everybody wants to know, and I feel like we've already asked this. Is there a band or record that she absolutely hates that you love?
Why do you guys want to know?
I know,
that?
they
We
love
lo-
that.
we-
Like, y'all want us to fight.
We get along. People deal with it. Gosh, just because your wife hates your record doesn't mean she doesn't hate mine.
Okay, calm it down.
Well, I got
Ooh.
one. Does she like boy bands?
Did. I was in sync, not Backstreet, all the way.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but Backstreet's back. I don't know.
I don't really
I don't
care.
know what that means. But
Yeah, one of them was on Dancing with the Stars. I think he won.
Couldn't care less.
If you could have lunch with one musician alive, and I can't see who this is for some reason. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's Sean.
Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could have lunch with one musician, alive or dead, who would it be? You want to answer that first? Because I feel like I need to think about it a little bit.
For me, if I had to have lunch with one musician, it would be her.
Okay, well, that's not fun. We have lunch together every single day of our lives.
That's true. So I'll have to choose another one. Alive or dead? I think alive would be more beneficial to both of us. Gosh, man, I don't know. Let's do one of both. So dead, I would have to say, man, Townes Van Sant for sure. For sure. Yeah, it would be different depending on his level of intoxication, I guess. But lunchtime, by that time, I'm sure he'd be pretty hammered.
Would you want to have lunch with Bob Dylan? Would that be interesting?
Yeah.
Willie Nelson would be really fun.
Yeah, he would be fun.
Sit down.
And I'm sorry, but we would definitely, definitely eat burgers because Willie Nelson's a big burger guy. I don't know if you guys know that. Big time. They've on that side, like they've got some stories. It'd be a amazing conversation to have. But then on the other side, I'd love to meet somebody who's like younger that's like still in it.
Yeah.
Like
what about? Okay, I don't know what to.
I
think I'm so introverted. The thought of that sounds terrible to me. I don't want to sit down.
That's the exact answer I would expect.
I don't want to sit down and have lunch. I just want to listen to your music and respect you, and I'm good.
Yeah.
That's me, but
she doesn't care for she doesn't like fancy notoriety.
I do not like.
She doesn't want a bunch of Instagram followers. She doesn't care for that.
Nope.
She's like, I'm content with myself.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like idolizing. I don't know.
Yeah, once you meet a couple people.
Those people are so real. And they're real human beings that just did something. I don't know.
Yeah, once you meet a couple people that you really like and you're like, you're not really that.
That's not even been my experience. I've met some people that I'm like, they're really nice and down to earth. And that's how, I don't know. Anyways.
I got one. Oh, man.
Yeah, but okay. Who would you say if I could have lunch with somebody? We haven't answered that, so.
I think for you, it would have to be
I don't know. I wouldn't want to talk about music with them. I would just be like, how's life? Tell me about your life.
That's what they would want, because if you want to talk about music, they'd be like, oh gosh.
I would not want to talk anything about music or about their music. I would want to know their stories.
Yeah.
Speaking
of stories, the story. Brandy Carlisle. I think for you it would be Pink. It would be Pink for you. You look like.
I don't know.
Because you have seen her grow from being young and getting the party started. All the way up
that's true.
To being a mom.
I don't think we would truly get along. I think we would very much not get along.
I don't know.
I love her music. I'm just saying.
You get along with everybody. Come on.
I know. I just think we wouldn't think alike.
What's your favorite part
Which is
about
fine.
being married to such a sexy man?
That is not on there.
No, I'm asking that.
Ooh, I really like this question. Ozzy Bernstein, an album that was way ahead of its time. That's a good question.
Nick Drake, any of his albums were way ahead of their time. Pink Moon's the one everybody talks about. Brighter Later also. That's an album you think, this is like 90s, maybe 2000s. But that, he was way ahead of his time.
Does she like music? Do you have a soundproof room to not annoy her?
Kind of.
No, I'll be in bed at night and then I'll hear him cranking some music. Thankfully, the kids' room has we turn on a sound machine in their rooms and they're good.
I didn't know you could hear that.
Always,
you never say
playing.
anything. So when I'm out there,
he really cranks it.
If they can hear it, it's loud. It's real loud. And I have woken everyone up before with it, but it's it's really the only time I get to where I can really sit back and enjoy music is when everyone's asleep.
Oh, so. Here's one. Is it Hera Simmons on Instagram? How many records does Emily have? Well, that's a great question. I have no idea.
I know exactly how many records you have.
Not many.
We are. What's mine is yours. So.
Oh, okay.
You got
a lot.
You got about 2,500 records. So you're doing good. I keep my collection high and tight. I don't have a lot at home, but I have about 2,500 at home that are all bangers. No, all killer, no filler. That's what I like to do.
Ooh, what movie soundtrack? Brian Hake, 1995. What movie soundtrack is your favorite on vinyl? Jurassic Park, Back to the Future.
Oh yeah,
we have both
Back to
of
the Future
those.
is my favorite, the favorite soundtrack.
The kids love Jurassic Park.
It's real, y'all.
Yeah.
Ray Stantz says, "How are you doing?" I like that.
Oh,
we're doing
thank
good.
you, Ray.
We're doing good, Ray. And you've been a little ray of sunshine in our life today. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we're doing good. Ooh, I like this one. Scott Oakley. What's the sweetest thing you have ever done for your wife?
Well,
I want to know what you think.
Scott.
Let me just say really quick.
Some things are too, personal for the camera, but go ahead.
Sweetest thing. He makes coffee for me every morning.
I'm not
very happy.
Not only coffee.
Oh, he makes breakfast every morning at our house.
What does that entail?
Every morning. Eggs, sausage, and bacon. That's what he makes.
Every morning. Every single morning.
Our boys love it.
Never, ever miss it.
And I love that he cooks breakfast. So I'll eat the same thing every day for the rest of my life.
It's great.
He's cooking breakfast.
Yeah, every morning.
I do make breakfast every now and then. But he's the breakfast king.
It's the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know how to cook.
Corey Jobs, your question is amazing. So shout out.
But we can't.
Answer
if we get into that, this video will be 3 hours long. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope we have enlightened you on our lives and starting a store and all that stuff. And hope you've enjoyed the rare treat of having
diamond,
this gem of a human on my channel. So we'll definitely do it again. But thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button. Check out our websites and the links in the description of this video. Follow us on Instagram. Stay connected to us. Would love to hear more from you, and we will see you guys next time.